Night with Jay. My name is Garrett Ludwig, and this is
Dustin Staples.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you.
So, what makes you interested in weather?
My interest began in about middle school or so, running the path of just looking at different storms, looking at different radar systems, and obviously watching every late night newscast that would come on. It was, I thought it would be a cool job to do, and, someone behind a green screen. At the time, middle school, I'm not really, focused on, oh, that's kind of cool there. Everything's like, there magically. But obviously the magic, because of the editing, comes into play with that. But I just thought it was very interesting, tell people how to stay informed, what's going on, the ways things are changing rapidly, and every season that comes by, there's always a different storm that comes with it. So
I'm sure. So, what brought you into student media?
I did research before coming in here as a sophomore. That's where I am right now. I just looked at different colleges, and this was probably not my top choice, but it was in the choices of where media came into play. I saw there's, hey, there's student media here at this university. That's kind of cool to do, because at the time, during my high school and middle school career, I was already doing a high school and middle school broadcast with a group of friends that we started our own high school networking station there. And I just said, this would be kind of cool to continue on. And I ran across ROC-TV, Radio Free Radford was second, it was at Radford on camera. I came across and said, that's kind of cool. There's video in that, but there's no weather. And so I was kind of disappointed a little bit, but I said, maybe I could start something new up. And now here I am 2 years later doing weekly weather watches. And yeah.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yes.
So, can you control the weather? You are a weatherman.
I get that question a lot. No, I'm sorry. People, I don't have a magic wand or nothing. So.
Well, I mean, obviously, because you were wrong about Tuesday's prediction.
You know what? I don't know. I wouldn't say I was wrong about it. It's tracking snow. Tracking snow like that. It's so difficult because where we are centrally located in a mountainous area. It just depends. If it's coming from the west, yes, we may get a little something, but we may not get the full amount. Or if a big snow is coming from the south, where we get a lot of our moisture from, it kind of, if it's right up with the cold air, then we'll get that big snow. Tuesday, I like to call it a little tease of what's coming this winter. So stay tuned for more of that kind of little tease.
Little tease.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Let's see. So, how do you make your predictions? What do you base them on?
So I look at many different news outlets across the region here, local TV stations. I look at the Weather Channel, NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That's why it's called NOAA for short, the National Weather Service. And what I pretty much do is look at their numbers, and I round them off on a base of like, let's say one station saying 37, 38, 40, and 36. So what number wasn't called? So it would be like 39, for instance, something like that. And then I go in there, just pretty much look at the data that's being forecasted, and then once that's predictions out there, it's estimate what do you think, because you also put some human thought into it too. It's not all just computer based, making some of your predictions yourself. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So people have a lot to say about global warming. Some people deny it, some don't. Well, what's your stance on that, being a weatherman?
Yeah, that's a good question. You bring it up. I've had conversations about this. I have done several research papers with this during, academically speaking, last couple of years, middle and high school, and here in college. As a weatherman's perspective, saying, global warming's happening, if that's your opinion, fine, keep it. I'm not here to force you to change what you believe and why you believe that belief that is. It's more so, it's a controversial topic. Climate change is what kind of tending towards more. However, global warming does play a factor in climate change, so it's very tricky of what you talk about, how you say what you're talking about, and what you give answers to that. So right now, it's unfortunately, it's kind of up in the air of how I think about things, but my opinion can change, but we'll see what happens. So it's all about the research, obviously. So
definitely. Well, you got to tell me, what is one of the most accurate predictions that you've ever made? Something catastrophic.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was Tuesday, but no, I'm just kidding. That was not the case. I'd say, The most easy predictable forecast is during, you know, the summer months, I think, because, you know, for instance, you know, you have hazy, hot, humid conditions. It's going to be 94 degrees, a heat index of 100, 102, let's say, and an overnight low of 71. You know, with a lot of those ingredients mixed together, you're going to have a daily thunderstorm just about every single day. Yeah. So I say during the summer months, it can be a little easy. However, then you have hurricane season on top of that, so that's kind of tricky to talk about, as well as, you know, winter storms where they're coming from that direction. You know, but so it'd be summer maybe, and then I'd say following the fall, because it's not, you know, we go from a transition to that, it kind of gets a lot more easy going, but then again, you have the winter approaching, so, you know, it just depends, but, you know, I'd say the summer is the easiest, because, you know, it's going to be hot, we're going to get a thunderstorm, it's going to storm for sure, and it's going to be muggy and humid the rest of the evening.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay.
So I'm a sophomore from Martinsville, Virginia, roughly 2 hours south from here. I'm a media studies major, production technology concentration. That's a word worth of the mouth to say there. I plan on, you know, pursuing a degree in broadcast meteorology, heading that direction path at some point. I enjoy photography. I like to be outside. And a lot of people think of, you know, you're you know, a weatherman, you like to be looking at computers. Yes, but I also want to be out looking out and being what's happening during that time frame too. Yeah. I enjoy traveling. I like to go anywhere where there's always nice leaf foliage, or, you know, if I'm tracking a storm, or even the winter season, which winter is my favorite season. I'm sure many people are going to disagree to that. That's okay. I'm not going to change your opinion if it is, but it's always kind of fun to see that. You know, get me a snow shovel, a rake, a lawnmower maybe. You know, I can come do your yard for you. We'll talk about prices some other time, but you know, I enjoy being outdoors no matter what it is. So.
Well, you just said you did the storm tracking or storm chasing.
Storm chasing too, yeah. I did actually. Well, I'll tell you a little quick, brief story about that. You know, this summer, you know, like I said, you're going to have heat and instability. You're going to have thunderstorms. They're going to be severe at times as well. I remember exactly what I was doing. I just came from I was working at an internship, or doing an internship during the summer, I should say, and went out to eat with a friend of mine who invited me out. And I knew it was going to storm that evening, and then we kind of set through the storm as we were eating, and then when I was going back home, I unfortunately ran back into the storm again itself.
Naturally.
So that's how it works, right? And so I was like, this is fun. I guess I'm like a storm chaser right now, except I don't have all my camera gear, and, you know, I've got a little iPhone that takes a picture, and here's some video, and there you go. So.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm sure that's a lot of fun.
It is. It'll also be tiresome too, because, you know, you gotta get enough. You know, your sleep is important as a meteorologist as anything, and sleep is another whole story at this point in time. But,
I'm sure,
yes.
Being a college student as well.
Yes, that on top of that, you know, all about time management, folks. Get that time management skills in.
Time management. Well, I think the closest that I've gotten to storm chasing was I was out in Wyoming, and my iPhone rang, said there was a tornado warning. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm looking around, since I'm not from Wyoming, I'm like, you know, like, we got to go somewhere, and everyone else is just sitting in, you know, Outback or whatnot,
yeah.
And they're sitting there cutting their steak, look down at their phone, continue eating. I'm like, what is everyone doing? What is your daily routine with work or...
So we'll talk about work, we'll talk about school, we'll talk about student media while we're here. So we'll start off with academics, because school is the #1 priority while we're here. And sometimes, in my case, you know, I feel like I'm the club weatherman and then academics. But, you know, so we'll start with academics first. I'm very, you know, thankful that I haven't had a stressful year at all. This semester, it's been going pretty smoothly. You know, yes, you may get behind on a sign or two on what things are going on, but the rest of the time being, it's been pretty easy going. And I'd start my day about 9 o'clock every Monday through Friday. Obviously, the weekends, I want to get a little extra sleep in, but wake up at 9, get right to the weather, start putting that for my graphics on for Radford, ROC-TV, and then other weather pages that I run here, RU-Weather1, I do on Twitter and Instagram, so follow, please. So I do that, and then as well as my job, I do their weather graphics, and like I said, we'll divide that up later. Come to the office here in student media. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday from 10 to 11. sometimes a little late because of, you have personal matter that occur. But in here, go to class between 12 and 3 is my window. About every day I'm in a class, not back to back obviously, but during that window. Typically after 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, about every day I'm a little more flexible in the office, doing some weather work or news station work or whatever I'm doing that. And then so pretty much after 5 o'clock I can go, I can breathe, do a little homework done in between the time being. Then I've been working there going on 2 years. That job consists of as well as making graphics, putting those up on our Facebook page, occasionally writing a web article or so relating to weather or school closings or whatever it may be. I'm trying to update that. Do the same thing on the Facebook page as well, update the school closings and making sure people are aware of what's going on. Again, between the hours of, I'd say 2 and 4, try to make a spot to get the weather filmed. It's about a 2-minute window of opportunity when I'm out there filming weather. Put it on my YouTube channel. My producer gets a hold of it from there, also uploads it to Facebook, downloads it on his end, puts it on TV, which the news airs from 5 to 7, Monday through the Thursday, and that airs just about there, and then it kind of, continues on with the day. So basically about a 9 to 5, sometimes obviously it's overtime, just depending on what is going on with being it's snowing or if I'm tracking a hurricane or something massive's going on. It's always fun-filled to do that. So in the weekends, I kind of have a little more flexibility in between since we're, not on during that time frame, but still updating and still working both the weekends and during the weekday too. Along with that, I do Highlander Student Media. I am the station manager for Radio Free Radford. This is my first year taking on the position prior to Tristan Blake Ryans, who took on the position for 2 years, who graduated this past May, and so he is now my predecessor. If I need to look on back something, I stay in communication with him a lot, and he keeps me some advice and talk about what can be improved on and stuff of that nature. So we may have a lunch or dinner or something when he's around on campus, since he lives off campus now. So we do that. Along with Radio Free Radford, I do Radford on Camera, obviously. It's another spot you see me doing weekly weather watches, and doing this now when I'm free. It's kind of hard to get a hold of me when you can, and occasionally making some appearances in the weekly vlogs when needed. Also with that, I'm the distributor for the Tartan, as well as the weather correspondent and occasional news writer, as well as their secretary. So I take the notes for them and do that, and distributing the newspapers. I've been doing that now for a year. Same thing for putting the weather in the newspaper as well. And it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. Sleep is a big virtue in my shoes, at least. As busy as it sounds, I do have time to make sleep. I have time to get sleep, I should say. I'm just going to make it. I also have time to have a little bit of free flexibility. That's very rare, I guess. And then I'm being a college student on top of that, so.
It sounds like your plate is full.
Yes, don't give me anything else to add on. And of course, I do host weekly meetings with my radio staff as well, and attend meetings for the Tartan as well as Radford on Camera when I can. So I'm here, I'm running, I'm kicking.
So where can you catch your Radio Free Radford?
So Radio Free Radford, we broadcast that live or shows every single day between the hours of 10 to 5 on radiofreeradford.com. Several staff members you can check out there on their website. If you click under the About Me tab or contact one of the 2 tabs on there, it'll give a list of the times of when they're on air, everything of that. Some of them have their own Facebook pages, which are shared throughout social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you can check them out on their personal pages. They go live streaming on Facebook Live or Instagram Live on there. We consist of our online radio stations, who we are. We've been around for a good while now. Recently expanded a lot more here in 2016 as we moved into Tyler Hall. So it's been a few years since we've been here. Always looking for new contents, new staff members. So if you're interested in joining, please feel free to contact. And again, the email is rfr@radford.edu, and I promise you somebody will get back with you.
Sure, and that's RFR?
RFR is Radio Free Radford. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So could you give us a little weather prediction?
Yes, so for the rest of, whenever this is going up, let's try that again. So when is it going up?
It's going up tonight.
It's going up tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, let's do that again. Start with the question again.
So, could you give us a little weather prediction for Friday night?
Sure. So if you're planning on sticking around and maybe not going home for the weekend at Radford, it's going to be chilly. We got highs tomorrow. For Friday, it will be in the mid-50s, near upper 40s, low 50s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. You may see a drizzle or hear the light variable wind, so it's not going to be as feeling like Antarctica as it was earlier this week. As so we get a little bit of break in the cold, but it's 50s, or typically we should be seeing for this time of year, and sunshine returns for the weekend and next week as well. So welcome to November, where fall didn't last but a few weeks at least anyway, and hope you enjoyed it, folks, because it's cold as here. Stick around.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes.
So what was your previous job before all of this?
So before going into the news department, I don't think I really had like a high school job. Well, started out as a senior in high school leading the weather position for this news station. I did that, I think, the summer of 2017 it was, maybe.
So you've been doing this for a while?
Yes, I've been doing this for 2 years, 2017 to present right now. December 2017 to right now, I'm doing this position. I did a little bit of, I worked for a contractor for a little bit, but other than that, I really didn't have like a, working at a McDonald's or something, or Walmart or something of that nature. I was just very fortunate and blessed to get this opportunity of where I had the news station in high school. They reached out to us, became a partnership, and then you reached back out to us again, and then here I am now, 2 years later, working for this TV station. So kind of worked out in a good way, I guess.
I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yes, yes.
Very fortunate. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I'll probably be at meteorology school at some point. Thinking of sticking around Radford for another 2 more years anyway, just to get my degree in a media, the communication department at least anyway. So I'll have a bachelor's in that, and then maybe heading to Virginia Tech or Old Dominion or some meteorology school here. Which Virginia Tech, which is our down the road from us here, has a program, the only one in the state of Virginia actually. And I do have some ties over there. I do have been speaking with some of the students that are currently have graduated but are now in the master's program over there at the Virginia Tech. And so maybe getting, staying over there for another year or so, or 2 years or so, and then applying for some TV station, or unless a TV station reaches out to me first, we'll see where it lands.
Nice. So if you could go anywhere in the U.S., where would you go for your career?
I like a lot of, geographically speaking, here in the United States. This is a beautiful area, nice central area. I'm not the type that's homesick by all means. Send me anywhere, I'll be okay for a day or so. Then maybe like, okay, I need that extra assistance with me. No, but somewhere up north, wherever they get snowed, wherever it's snowing or wherever it's cold, send me there. I'll go. I'm crazy for saying that. That's okay.
You love that winter weather.
I do. I love the winter weather. It's my favorite season. And because my birthday is in October, and coming up, you go from fall right, and it's already cold about that time anyway. You're ready for the first flake to fall, and you want it to be up there with it. As in the north, as in like the New England part of the area, maybe not so much where like Chicago or Illinois, Indiana, Montana, those particular parts. It's cold, but it's a different type of cold because you have the extreme wind chill, and it's the bitterness of it is just too much. But I mean, the same thing happens in New England, but it doesn't get as drastically as powerful of a cold as where it does there. So maybe up north, give me a snow shovel. Pack my bags. I'm ready to go anywhere.
I mean, you might need a little bit more than that.
I know. Yes.
Last year, I believe it was either Detroit or Chicago that was in -40s.
Negative 60s degree. That was temperatures. That was the Midwest.
I could never do that.
I think the coldest I've been in is about 2 below zero. That's the coldest I've ever been in.
Yeah, and you're done with that.
That's as far as I'll go. I've had wind chill was like -11. I'm like, this is enough for me. And the hottest I've been has been 112 with a heat index of 115.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my range right there. From 112 to -2 I can do. The rest of it can go.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad you at least like it here, where you get a bit of the best of both worlds.
You get a little bit of everything. You know,
Yeah.
occasionally you may get a hurricane along the
Yeah,
East Coast,
maybe
but
even a
we,
tornado.
yeah, occasionally we have been seeing that here recently. But rest of it seems to be moving along just fine. So,
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
It's been a privilege.
yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Late Night with Jay.
Yes.
This is
Dustin Staples, the ultimate person that never gets any sleep but runs around, and many other titles. You want to add on to me, if you want to stay up to date with weather, follow RUWeather1 on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to follow me on Dustin Staples at BTW21, go ahead and feel free to do so on Facebook. I don't know what else you want me to do. I'm out there. Follow the Tartan, follow Radio Free Radford, follow ROC-TV, follow all of our organizations on student media. Also, follow all of our student media organizations on social media. There you go. That's a tongue-tied word to say right there.
definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, to all of you, thank you very much for joining us this Friday night. Have a good night.